Okay, ready. Bueno, my dear people, so as we were talking the last time, we were talking about making friends, no? So we were talking about the friendship and if it was easy or not for you to make friends. Also, you told me some things like which kind of people do you get along with, and what do you do when you hang around with your friends, and what could be the person that you could off of your what could off of your life, So in that case, we use some phrasal verbs in order to talk about the friendships, right? I'm going to continue, well, we're going to continue complementing that topic of the friendship, but this time we're going to do it from a different perspective. I'm going to answer a couple of questions here. So, Sarita, could you please help me to read the first question, honey?
Yes, teacher. What's the strangest thing you have asked your friends to do?
Okay, so in that case, we have a funny question that is like, what is the strangest thing that you have asked your friends to do? Like when you are asked for a favor to your friends, but sometimes we ask for some weird things, no? For example, once I asked my best friend to date my sister because she was pretty lonely and she was kind of depressed. So I asked my best friend to date my sister, even though he didn't like my sister, but it was like, like for cheer up my sister, right? So I asked him to date my sister. What about you? What is the strangest thing that you have asked for?
For me,
Tell me.
I asked one friend to buy me the feminine towels like you put on your period. I don't know how to say it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I think
Yeah,
it's hygiene towels or something like that.
yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Ask a friend that is a boyfriend
Oh my God.
to buy me. Maybe that was a strangest thing.
Yeah. And did he do it?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, good,
He
very
was
good.
so gentleman, I think.
Okay, very good. Oh my God, it was a really, well, probably not strange, but risky request, no? Like, oh my God, arriesgado, right?
Or
Okay, then.
maybe I like him or
Ah,
something like that. So
so-
he do it.
okay, it
I'm
was
kidding.
it was a very big signal, no? So also it was a big signal. Did he
Yeah,
understand it?
I think so.
Okay, Sarita, thanks a lot. Good, excellent. What about the rest? What is the strangest thing that you have asked your friends to do?
Teacher, in my case, I asked a friend to take care of my turtle because I was going on a trip for a couple days.
Okay, but I mean, is that like those tiny turtles? Like, like what I say tiny, it's like very, very small.
Yes, Danny, normally.
Wow, okay, very good. And is it difficult to take care of your of the turtle?
And needs attention
Mm,
a little.
okay, very good. Yeah, good. What's a different request? Okay, Santi, thanks a lot. What about Luisa? What about Pedro? What is the strangest thing? Nothing? You haven't asked anything strange to your friends? No?
I don't know. I don't remember.
No. Okay. Well, maybe you haven't asked anything strange. And Pedro?
No, teacher, me too. I
No.
don't have asked
Okay, very good. In that
something
case,
strange.
me neither. Ready? Me neither because she said I don't remember. So if you say me too, it's like yo también, but actually you want to say yo tampoco. So in that case, it's me neither, no? Me neither. Okay, very good,
Yes,
excellent.
teacher.
Then, Pedro, could you please help me to read the second question, my friend?
What's the most sorry, teacher?
What happened? I think he has something to do. Santi, could you please help me to read the second question?
Yes, teacher. What's the most annoying habit that you keep having?
Good. What's the most annoying habit that you keep having? No? So in that case, for example, I keep related to your friends, no? Because of course we have some different habits that may be annoying for the people, right? For example, I keep speaking too loud, speaking too loud. Sometimes, no. I sometimes I keep speaking too loud. But with my friends, something that I do is that I keep being too strict with the time, you know? So as I don't have a lot of time, I need to be strict, like I am super punctual. So I keep being too strict with the time of my friends, like, but it was at 3, not at 3:05. So they feel a little bit like, yeah, no, don't bother so much. It was 5 minutes. But I keep being very strict with my friends. What about you? What is the most annoying, like upsetting, like molesto habit that you keep having with your friends? So in general, what is the most annoying?
For me, I keep having been no having be imprudent.
Okay. You don't need to use the having. I mean, having it's because it's like sigues teniendo, but the verb tener, but you could say I keep being. Actually, like in my example too. I keep
Okay,
being, yeah, so I keep being imprudent. Okay, that
imprudent.
is
Yeah, a lot. Thank you.
okay, that is good. But has it caused some problems with your friends? Oh, never.
Yeah, sometimes my friends say like, please, Sarah, eh, don't talk too much and don't say things that we don't like you to say.
Uh-huh,
You know,
uh-huh.
like when they tell me something that anyone knows, the people I maybe sometimes I say it just because it's funny or something like that. But that is impressive, and not everyone likes that.
Yeah, of course. Some people it's like, I but it was a secret. Come on, Sarita, my God. Okay, very good, excellent. So, in that case, when there is something that no one knows, no one knows. Because if I use anyone, I would have to use negative. But with this one, with no one, I can use the affirmative one, no one knows, right? And that's it. Super simple.
Okay, teacher, thank you.
Very good, no problem. Bueno, something that you, well, something annoying that you keep having, Lou, Peter, Santi.
Teacher, I think maybe I keep saying um how do you say the the true or say the
Yes.
things all the time I was thinking
Okay.
about. Yes.
So in that
You
case,
know.
I keep telling the
Oh,
truth.
oh, yes, I don't know. Or I say always, I don't like this, or what happened? Yes, why? Or I don't know. That's
Okay.
my way. I don't know.
Yeah. So, well, you could say also that you keep being too strict, too direct, sorry, too straightforward, no? So I keep being, I keep being too direct. Like, oiga, no me gusta esto, that's it, no? No more. Okay,
Yes,
Lou. Of course, it has caused some problems with your friends sometimes.
my friends and my work
My
relationship.
husband, my
Yes, my family.
yeah, of course, the people sometimes don't like the truth too direct, no? They prefer to decorate it a little bit, so can cause some problems. Okay, muy bien. Thank you, Lu. And Santi and Peter?
Teacher, in my case, I keep being very impatient with people.
Okay,
Uh,
very good.
Stress when they don't understand me or when they don't understand something that I do.
Okay, very good. Santi, pronunciation of that verb, it's understand. Not understand, but understand. Ready? Understand. De una del aire vas a la S, understand.
Okay.
¿Listo? Muy bien, very good. So of course the patient is not your best quality. Good, okay. So that's probably that's why you work better alone, no? So you prefer to work alone. Hmm?
Yes, teacher.
Okay, very good. And Peter, my friend.
Teacher, in my case, I think that I is there exist an annoying habit for my wife. Yeah, and this is that I get up early in the morning all the time, all days.
Uh-huh.
So I am not sure how can I describe this habit in order to use I keep being.
Don't worry, it's just keep under as it is a habit. Actually, that was the correction. As it is a habit, it's something repetitive. It's something that happens many times. Probably not every day, but it happens many times. So you just have to use the verb keep plus a verb in gerund. So in that case, we have the verb get up, which is a phrasal verb, but this is the verb. So the one that you have to modify is only this one. The other one is going to be up normally. So you would say like I keep getting up early. Getting up early. So I suppose your wife does not like to wake up early.
No, no, she doesn't like.
It's difficult. Getting up early is difficult. In this house, my wife hates that I wake up early, but I don't like to wake up early either. It's just because sometimes I have to, no? So in that case, nobody wakes up early. But that's good. Okay, perfect. That's great. So in this case, guys, you mentioned some things that you like, some situations that you share with other people, with friends or with your husband or with your wife. So, but here we use two different structures to do it. So the first one was using to, and on the other case, I use ing. Can you tell me what does it depend on? Why in this case I use to and why in this case I use ing? Do you know? Do you have any ideas, any suppositions? No ideas? Any possibilities? Why in the first case I use to, and in the second case I use ing?
The first case is a physical action, teacher. Doesn't matter.
Okay, kind of, more or less. Well, actually, it has to do with the fact that in this case we use the verb asked, and here we use the verb keep. Hmm? So you know, but because this is something that you know, that many times we are going to find a combination of two different verbs, the verb number one and the verb number two, right? Different verbs have that possibility to combine, no? For example, if I say suggest, no? So suggest can be accompanied plus another action, no? For example, I suggest, and the action is sleep. Sleep early. Yes. Other times I can use, for example, the verb recommend. I sorry, recommend is with double M. Recommend. So I recommend plus another action, no? So in that case, lo mismo, sleep, right? Sleep early. Yeah. But depending on the verb that I am using, depending on the verb that I am using, depending on the first verb, the second verb has two possibilities. One, it's to use to, and the verb in the basic form, which is the infinitive structure, or the other one, which is using without preposition, using the verb in ing, which is the gerund structure. This is something that we have seen before, no? Today, we're going to try to remember it in order to remind you to use different structures, not always use the same one, which is the infinitive, but as we did it before, try to vary, try to find different ways to express the same. Ready? And for that, it's necessary that we learn which verbs have gerunds and which verbs have infinitive. Ready? So over here, wait a second, we have four different, well, we have actually two different things. When we have a gerund or when we have an infinitive, ready? But sometimes we're going to have some verbs which can use both infinitive and gerund, and they don't have, like, I mean, they don't have any change on the meaning, no? So over here, let me just decide some in, ready, in order for you to read the sentence. Well, the first thing is that here we said, like, I decided to explain these constructions while the language keeps being practiced, right? So in that case, I use the verb decided. What do you think? Decide is a verb that is followed by a gerund or by an infinitive? What do you see there? Decided. Dímelo.
Infinitive?
Infinitive, of course. So that's why we use to, and we use the verb in the basic form. That's it, right? Why the language keeps, and as I told you before, keep is a verb that goes that is always followed by a verb in gerund. So for example, the verb being in this case, right? So we're going to see what verbs are going to follow this rule or this structure and which verbs follow this structure. Ready? So it's just a matter of examples, and that's ready. As I told you before, here we don't have a specific rule. This is similar to the phrasal verbs things because in that case, we don't have a specific rule or technique for learning the verbs. It's only by memory, by memorizing, by heart, that we learn this or that we remember these kind of verbs. Ready? So, my dear Luisa, help me to read the first group. The group of verbs that are usually followed by a gerund, o sea, these verbs are followed by a verb in ing. What verbs, Lou?
Appreciate,
Appreciate,
appreciate, consider, enjoy, heat up,
give up,
keep,
very good.
off,
Put off,
yeah, rough,
put off, and suggest, right? Appreciate, like apreciar, consider, easy, enjoy, okay? Give up, what is the meaning of give up?
I don't know, teacher.
Any ideas, guys? What is the meaning of give up? No, no ideas? Bueno, give up, it's a synonym of surrender. Surrender, it means rendirse. It's the same, right? But when I say that I give up something, or doing something, it's like I stop doing that thing, no? For example, I give up smoking. I give up, similar to quit, right? So I give up I give up learning French. No, I am not going to continue doing that. Like it's something that I possibly couldn't do, and I stopped doing that because I couldn't, right? So I give up learning Chinese. I give up learning to dance, for example. No? So it's to stop doing something. And keep, which is maintain, very good. Put off. What is the meaning of put off?
Alejar.
That's put away. This one is put off. It's related to the time. Any ideas? Postpone.
Maybe
Demi, Santi?
delay.
Exactly. Yeah, like put off, it's delay, demorar, or postpone, which is postponer. Very good. Ready? So in that case, put off, like for example, I usually put off waking up. I said like, no, at 9, no, at 9:30, no, at 10, right? So I usually put off waking up. I also put off washing the dishes because I don't like it. So it's like, tomorrow, I wash the dishes tomorrow, right? And the last one is suggest, which, it's similar to recommend, right? So for example, in here, we have, I suggest sleep early. What do you think is going to be the form of this verb here, sleep? Is going to be to sleep or sleeping? What do you think?
Sleeping.
Very good. So in that case, I suggest sleeping early or going to sleep early. That's also another possibility, right? Okay, very good. So here, those gerunds, of course, we have more, but these are some of them, no? Like some of them that we have here, right? Listo. My dear Santi, help me to read the second line, please.
Okay. These verbs are normally followed by an infinitive: ask, decide, expect, intend, need, refuse, seem, tend.
And here, let's add recommend. Recommend, right? Okay, very good. Ask, it means solicitate something or asking, like making a question, both. Decide, easy. Expect, like wait for something. Intent, what is the meaning of intent?
Intentar.
Like try something, very good, excellent. Need, easy. Refuse, what's the meaning of refuse?
Refutar.
Refutar, it means also también como like negarse a algo, ¿no? Like refuse. And seem, which means parecer, and tend, which it means like tender a, ready? So in that, and recommend, of course, ready? So all of these verbs are going to be then followed by a verb in the infinitive form, o sea, in the basic form. BF, which it means basic form, o sea, la forma básica. The infinitive is the basic form, right? For example, I expect to meet so many people. Sorry, I never expected to meet so many people. Ready? So in that case, preceded by the preposition to, then it's going to be included the verb in the infinitive form, right? After these verbs. So, for example, over here, I would say I suggest sleeping because it would suggest, but if I use recommend, what can I use?
Sleep.
Good. I recommend to sleep early. Ready? It's exactly the same idea, but I'm using two different ways to do it. Ready? The one that you prefer, it's going to be fine. You can say I suggest sleeping, or I recommend to sleep. Ready? The two different ways are exactly the same. Now, in formal context, it's not recommended, it's not suggested to use infinitives, gerunds. So this one, it's more casual, more everyday conversation. This one is gonna be more formal, but formal, like for example, when you have like a letter or a formal email or like like a report or something like that, it's more advisable to use, the infinitive form. Ready? Not the gerund form, which is considered a little bit more slang, a little bit more cash. Ready? Ready? Questions there? Difficulties over there? No, all fine. Okay. Listo, muy bien, very good. Entonces, questions with these verbs? Any questions with these verbs? I mean, they are easy, they are short, but I don't know, any idea?
Teacher, I have a question.
Dime, Rita.
The first part, you don't have to, how do you say conjugar?
The conjugate, the first verb?
Yeah, conjugate the verb. And the
Yeah.
second one, you have to, or you don't have to.
It's actually the opposite, my dear. The first verb is the one that is going to be conjugated. Ready? The second one is either infinitive or gerund, but that depends on the first verb. But the first verb is going to be conjugated on the tense that you prefer. For example, I have, sorry, I have always suggested no, sorry, this one is with infinitive, with a gerund. I have always suggested sleeping early or going to sleep early. The verb that I conjugated into the present perfect was suggest. The other one, anyway, it's going to be in ing. This one, and the second verb, has only two possibilities, or infinitive or gerund. That depends on the first verb. But the first verb can be conjugated in any kind of tense. For example, that one was present perfect, no? So I have always suggested sleeping early. But I can say also, for example, I will recommend to, I don't know, to practice every day, for example. In that case, to practice, it's in infinitive because it's the verb recommend. But the verb recommend, it's conjugated into the future, no? So the conjugation, it's going to be over the first verb. The second verb doesn't change at all. Or it's infinitive or it's gerund, depending on the first verb, but it's not going to change at all. Okay, ready?
Okay, yeah, thank you.
Well, very nice question. That's it. Wait, now we have other different verbs. My dear Pedro, could you please help me to read the third line, my friend?
These verbs are followed by either a gerund or an infinitive. Begin, bother, continue, hate, prefer, start.
Exactly. Begin, bother, continue, hate, prefer, or start, easy verbs, all of them, are going to be verbs that they have the possibility to receive a gerund or an infinitive, and it's going to be the same, no? For example, last month I started taking a cooking class, or I started to take a cooking class. Both possibilities continue. Ready? So far, we have continued to finish all the activities of the weeks. Or so far, we have continued finishing all the activities of the week with the verb continue. Ready? I prefer to play soccer, or I prefer playing soccer. And that's it. Ready? And well, the last one is going to be about the action, the sentences like, for example, with keep. And in that case, when I use keep being, ready? Keep being is usually followed by a verb in past participle in order to create a passive voice. So when I say, for example, instead of saying, I keep washing the dishes, right? So I could say that, for example, instead of doing that, I could say the dishes keep being washed by my mom, right? So it's basically the same. It's just changing the order of the subject and complement. But you know, it's like not pretty common. It's just for when we want to use passive voice, and it's also possible to use it with the verb keep, no? Keep being and then the verb in past participle. Okay. Now that's some of the verbs that we have here. Ready? So I am going to make some questions. Ready? And you are going to ask me depending if you think that it's with gerund or infinitive. For example, what do you hate? No, wait, it's what activity? What activity do you hate with friends? What activity do you hate with friends? I'm all ears. What activity do you hate with friends? You don't like with friends? Any ideas?
Teacher, I had a question.
Hmm?
Es, ¿entendí? What activity do you hate to do, or hate my friends, or I don't understand something.
What activity do you hate with your friends? I mean, not your friends. No, 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 no. You hate your friends. No. What activity do you hate to do with your friends? Right?
To do
Yes,
with
yes.
my friends.
But I
Okay.
didn't want to include the second verb because I wanted to test you if you remember hate is with infinitive or with gerund. No me acuerdo. So answer.
Teacher, right now I don't do activities with my friends, but in the at the university, I hated playing soccer with them
No
because
way. Why?
I wasn't not so good as them, so we won always.
So they said like, "Hey, Pedrito, un picado," and you said like, "Ah, my God."
Yes, teacher.
Okay, very good, excellent. So Pedro told us that he hated conjugating the first verb, and the second one he did it in ing, o sea, in gerund. Is that all right? Because hasta donde recuerdo, Luisa dijo, "What activity do you remember to do with your friends?" Pues is with gerund, or, perdón, is with imperative or with gerund? Or what do you think?
Teacher, I thought that was in Jero, but now I'm confused
You are confused. Bueno, pues
because
hate.
because
Ajá, yes.
okay.
No, dale,
Okay,
dale.
teacher. Because you say some time ago, you say if you say like or yeah, that words, you have to use gerund. So maybe hate, you have to use gerund.
Okay, very
I
good.
relationate that.
Very good. Excellent. So, Sarah, remember when I told you that the verbs of like and dislike are related to gerunds, right? Bueno, pues those verbs, especially, perdón, except for enjoy, enjoy is only with gerund. Those verbs like, hate, don't like, all of those are going to have the possibility to receive both gerund and infinitive, right? So that's why, for example, we have here hate. I can say hate playing soccer or hate to play soccer, no? Similar to when we say I like to listen music or I like listening music. It has the possibility to receive both, right? Muy bien. Very, very good. Excellent. Santi, what about you, brother? What activities do you hate doing with your friends?
Teacher, I hate drinking with friends
Why?
because they change their way of being sometimes.
Of course. Well, but if you drink too much, of course they change. They
Exactly.
become noisy and reckless, right?
Right.
Okay, very good. That's great. That's great. Lou, do you have any answers? Any activities that you hate doing?
Teacher, I was thinking, but I think I hate to meet with them in my home. I like in another place, but not in my home.
Because of the mess.
Yes, I hate to clean.
Yes. And because you have to clean twice, no? You have to clean before and after.
Yes, of course. So I don't like it.
Okay, very good. That's right, right. Excellent. Lou. Very good. My dear Sarita, what do you think?
I hate hang out with my friends and talk about work.
Oh my God. But are your friends from work? I mean, are your friends
Yeah,
from the office?
if I go with my but if I go with my work friends, yeah, absolutely, I don't like it. But
Mm.
if I with my normal friends, I think is the same. I don't like to talk about my job all the time.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's like you have been working all the week and you go out and continue talking about work. So,
Yeah, I just
mhm.
like to talk to another thing and take my mind in another place.
Of course, that would be the idea. Ready? Good. Sarita, talk about other things. No, not talk to, but talk about other things. Ready? Very
Okay,
good.
teacher, thank you.
Perfect. Bueno, my dear friend. So in that case, that's, for example, how we can do it. Sometimes it's the thing of using the gerund. Sometimes it's the thing of using the infinitive, ready, with these verbs. Bueno, after that, I need to show you that we don't only have those two, gerund and infinitive, but sometimes it's necessary that we include an object. Ready? Remember that the last time we saw that it's important to use objects. The objects are the ones that are receiving the action that we are talking about, right? So sometimes the verb can receive a verb, an object, which is, the verb is transitive, or sometimes it doesn't receive any objects, no, when the verb is intransitive. Let's see how can we organize it depending if it's infinitive or if it's gerund. Ready? We're going to have four patterns. Pattern means like patrones, no? So the pattern A, the pattern B, pattern C, and the pattern D. Yeah? The pattern A, it's going to be simply using the verb plus infinitive, and that's it, right? So, for example, tend that we saw, no? Tend to, and the verb infinitive. Ready? Sarita, could you please help me to read the example?
Yes. When I choose clothes, I tend to think of comfort and first and appearance second.
Mhm.
I tend to think of comfort first and appearance second.
Exactly. I tend to think of comfort first and appearance second, right? So in that case, it's tend to think. That's it. It doesn't include this action, is not over any person. It's just I tend to think, and that's it. Ready? Different from that, we have the second pattern, or the pattern B, which is the verb plus an object receiving the action plus an infinitive. For example, Santi, help me to read this one.
Celebrities sometimes inspire me to change the way I look.
Exactly. So, for example, the verb inspire. You inspire somebody to do something, no? So in that case, celebrities inspire, again, inspire me to change the way I look, no? Is, for example, the one that we ask, no? So what is the strangest thing that you have asked your friend to do? So in that case, I asked my friend to take care of my turtle, or I asked my friend to buy the. So in that case, that's the one, including to whom. Who was the person who received that action? Ready? Then, of course, we have the pattern C, my dear Luisa. It's only the verb and the gerund. That's it. No objects. It's only the verb and gerund. Could you please read the example, honey?
Yes, teacher. I hate chosen
Choosing.
my chosen my
Uh-huh.
office in the morning.
Very good. I hate choosing my outfits in the morning, right? So in that case, that's it. I mean, I hate this action, choosing my outfits in the morning, no more. Yes. So, but some other times, the verb is going to go over another person, and especially when it's here, when we have a verb and the next one is a gerund, it's because the object includes a preposition. Ready? Do you remember that we have the verb prevent from? That it was like similar to keep from. Yeah, so in that case, we are having a preposition after that, which is from. Ready? If I am going to use like keep or prevent somebody from something, okay, there I'm gonna use the last pattern. The verb, the object, a preposition might be from, to, for, so on, and then the gerund. Ready? Pero, my dear, could you please help me to read the examples, bro?
High prices rarely prevent me from buying quality clothing.
Exactly, very good. Prevent from or keep from, it's similar to avoid. Yes, but in this case, it's avoiding that me or that I buy a quality clothing, no? So in that case, I said prevents me, como me mantienen o how do you say that me previenen de, buying quality clothes, right? So in that case, that is the other pattern that we have, okay? One verb can work sometimes like this one and sometimes like this one. It doesn't depend on the verb, but it depends more on the intention that you have. No, if that verb of that action is received by another person, then I would have to use or pattern B or pattern C, depending on the verb. But if it's, for example, a verb that doesn't require a verb, an object, I can use the pattern A or the pattern B. For example, I'm going to have an example over here. I suggest, and I would say practicing a lot. Yes. If I have an object, I can include it. Yes. And I would say, I suggest the person, or I suggest, let's say, the object, da, 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 practicing a lot. I can do it like that. Or simply, I suggest practicing a lot. Ready? But if I have another one, like for example, another different verb, I could use it too, no? For example, no sé, I determine it. Only the object pronoun, that's it. Not necessary to repeat, but sometimes I can say, I determine to, no sé, I determine to study more, for example. That's one example, right? So sometimes the verb can receive or cannot receive another object. It depends on your intention more than in the verb. Ready? So again, one more time, there is not going to be like a specific rule for learning that, but it depends on your intention. Ready? So far over here, questions with these patterns? Any questions about it? Shoot. Any questions about the patterns?
No, teacher, is clear.
Very good. So let's finish it by watching some of the verbs that follow every single pattern. Ready? Listo. Sarita, the verbs that follow the pattern A, what are those?
Afford, fail, hasten, learn, prepare, proceed, seek, strive.
Well, in that case, I would say strive, which is like
Strive.
looking for, looking for something. So it's just the verb,
Okay.
to, and the verb infinitive. Easy, right? No problem at all. Very good. And Santi, pattern B.
B. Verb or advice?
Advice?
Advice, allow, authorize, no,
Authorize? Yes, authorize is right.
cause, combines, encourage, instruct, permit, persuade, urge, persuade, urge. Salesperson combines me to buy address I knew I didn't need.
Very good. It's convince, no? So the salesperson convinced me to buy address I knew I didn't need. So these verbs, advise, allow, authorize, are going to be verbs that one person is doing, and it's going to go over another person. Convince me, advise me, encourage me, instruct him, her, them, persuade them, chon, 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 chon. Ready? Urge me, urge them, all of that. ¿Listo? Muy bien. Guys, hasta ahí, any questions about the verbs? Afford, fail, hasn't.
What mean hasten?
Hasn't, it means like hurry to do something. When I say, I usually hasten to finish my homeworks, right? So in that case, if I hasten to, it's like try to do something quickly, like try to do something in a rush, como de afán, right? So como apresurado.
Apresurar.
Yes, exactly. Apresurarse to do something, ¿no? A hacer algo. ¿Listo? Bueno, muy bien, very good. My dear Luisa, the pattern B, sorry, C, verb and the gerund.
Can help, can see, can stand, enjoy, get through, keep on, not mine, no mine, miss, postpone, rise,
Risk.
risk.
Yeah, very good. So I can, oh no, read the example, my dear.
I can see paying high price for clothes that will be of style in a year.
Okay. Yeah, very good. So I can see paying high prices for clothes that will be out of style. Todo completo, out of style in a year, right? I can see, I can help, no puedo evitar, no puedo ver, no puedo soportar, enjoy, get through. Get through is like atravesar, keep on, like maintain on doing something. Not minding, which is like not having a problem with that. For example, I don't mind working at night, something like that, no? Means postpone and risk. Risk, it means arriesgar. Ready? Muy bien. And Pedro, the last pattern, the pattern D.
Blame for dissuade from, forgive for, interested in, keep from, suspect of, and thank for.
Very good. All of these verbs are from one person to another person. So they have a direct object. Yeah, so in that case, we have a direct object and indirect object. No, the direct object is the action, and indirect object is the person who's receiving the action. Ready? So in that case, for example, blame, which is culpar, it requires a person. ¿Culpar a quién? Ah, he blamed me, he blamed her, she blamed me, I blame you for, and then the action. For example, she blamed me for breaking the dishes. For breaking the china, the dishes, no? So blame me for another action, and that action in ing, no? Muy bien. This way, it means like the opposite of convince, no? When I say dissuade from something, it's like convince not to do something, right? Forgive, which is perdonar, forgive somebody for doing something, interest somebody in doing something, keep somebody from doing something, which is avoid, suspect somebody of doing something. So I suspect him of stealing the cell phone, no say something like that, ready? And thank somebody for doing something, you know, so thank you for being here. That's what I always said, no? Thank you for being here. Thank you for paying attention. Thank you for finishing the activity. So thank somebody for doing so. Ready? So these are the form patterns that we have when we have two combination of verbs. Ready? Sometimes, of course, we don't have combination. For example, we said, it rains. Rain is a verb that cannot be combined with anything. So that's it, no? But for example, if I say want, what do you think? Where, in what positions or in what patterns I can I forgot, classify want? A, B, C, or D?
See?
C, with gerund? I want learning, or what do you think? Yes, is that all right?
I want, sorry, teacher, if with infinitive, I want to.
Exactly, very good. So it can be A when we say, for example, I want to learn English or something. That's it. But also can be B, no? When I say, for example, guys, I really want you to learn English. So sometimes, as I told you, some verbs can have like the two different possible patterns. Sometimes they can adopt an object, or sometimes they work without the object. It's just the verb infinitive. And the same happens here, no? So for example, what else? Let's see. Not mind, no? For example, I can say, I don't mind working at night. That's it, right? Or I don't mind my students arriving late to class. I don't mind my students arriving late to class. It's not like a problem for me, you know? So in that case, the verbs can be classified according to my intention. Ready? And the last thing before we go, guys, if it's negative sentence, ready? I am going to do it super easily. When it's a negative sentence and I am having a gerund, an infinitive, I only have to use not, to, and the verb infinitive. Ready? Like, for example, I learned not to be impatient. I fail not to, I fail not to lose my money. Something like that, no? So when it's negative and it's an infinitive, it's only not to, and that's it. When it's a gerund, it's simply not. Not plus the verb in ing, in the gerund. Ready? For example, I can't stand not having money. I postpone, no, let me postpone, no. I forgive my mother for not helping me with my school or something like that, no? So If it's a negative one and it's with infinitive, not to. And if it's the gerund, it's only not and then the verb in gerund. And that's it. Okay, so basically what we are looking here with all of this review of the first week is that you remember that you can find different ways to express the ideas. Sometimes with gerund, sometimes with phrasal verbs, sometimes it's more formal, sometimes with objects, sometimes with no object. But the important thing is that you try to include as many ideas or as many structures as possible. Not that you always continue using simple present, simple present, simple present, but that you can adopt all the other structures, present perfect, present simple past, past perfect, and also make these changes into the verb combination, for example. Sometimes with gerunds, a lot of times with gerunds, you need to start including these gerunds because they are really important. They are really important for the fluency, ready? And well, that's the idea, no? That you start looking for including, yes, these kind of structures, these kind of resources into your daily speech and try to try to force your speech a little bit. Que traten de forzar su discurso un poquito más para salirnos del simple present only and start using the ones that we have. Because I know that you understand, sé que lo entienden perfectamente, pero ahora lo ideal es empezar a incluirlo, como a empujarlo ahí dentro del discurso diario. ¿Listo? Questions about it, difficulties or problems? No, todo super, all fine.
Yes, teacher, all fine.
Listo, my dear people. Bueno, so far so good. Guys, see you the next week. The next week we only have one class. Probably it's going to be on Wednesday. The next week is holiday, no? So it's Wednesday or Thursday, I'm not sure. So that's it. See you there. Thanks for being here. Thank you for like everything, or the attention and everything. And see you the next week, okay?
Bye, teacher. Thank you so much.
Bye,
Thank you,
teacher.
teacher.
Teacher,
See you
thanks.
later.
Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.